Hi, and welcome to the Living Tantra podcast. Today, I'm here with a very, very special woman, Mathilde Lumiere, and we're going to share with you about motherhood and the spiritual path of motherhood, all in its glory and, and in its messiness. So first, a little bit about Mathilde. Mathilde has certified hundreds of practitioners in light work and sound healing therapy, opening their path to self-healing and service to human evolution. With her husband, George, they've held extensive teachings in Dubai, nearly 600 group sessions that are now exclusively online. Their community work has evolved over time, and their wake continues to reach people worldwide. Mathilde is trained as a doula and a childbirth educator, and she has a special devotion to mothers and children. She's an incredible healer, an incredible light worker. She does a lot of work at sacred sites all around the world, and she's what I would call an authentic practicing and living yogini. She really is very grounded in her daily life and her practicality of knowing how to support others and support communities, and her responsibility to show up as a community leader. And she also has incredible access. You'll be able to feel it as soon as she starts speaking. The clarity in her own channels, her own earnest devotion to her own spiritual path, and then the beauty of what's shared and being lived with her husband, George, and their daughter as well. So welcome, Mathilde. It's really, really lovely to have you.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for welcoming me on your podcast. I feel very blessed. Thank you.
So we first met over a conversation around motherhood. I think I sent you a copy of my book, The Soul's Guide to Birthing, and I had heard incredible stories about your conception and your daughter and how you're raising her. And of course, there was so much to share as two spiritual teachers, and the beauty and the magic and all of that that's surrounded through conception and pregnancy. And then the reality of giving birth and raising a child and coming up against the parts of ourselves and the messiness of life that are not so glorified, when we don't have sleep, when we don't have all of that stuff. So I would love to hear, maybe before we get into the messy, do you want to share just a little bit about your conception story and pregnancy?
Yeah, sure, with pleasure. And I do, before that, I do remember receiving your book and reading it, and I was simply amazed of myself realizing that there's a book existing that actually says what I believe in and what I've worked on myself for, and it was a lot of happiness there because a woman created that book somewhere in the world. And I'm like, it does exist, thanks God. So yeah, it was a lot of resources inside. So thank you, Catherine, for your book and for this wisdom that you shared into the world. Mm-hmm. Yeah, conception, conscious conception. It's a very interesting topic and also a very personal topic. So whatever I'm going to share is personal to me, yet there is, I would say, a general knowing or truth or experience that goes through this woman who brings baby consciously. If you listen to their stories, you will find similarities here. So I'm going to share my personal stories there, and maybe you will find similarities or with yourself if you listen. So it happened a couple of years after I met George. I was in the plane and I received the connection from one of the soul I was meant to bring in on earth. It was so strong that I just cried for like 45 minutes, and receiving all the messages, receiving the connections, the purity, like the pure energy of that soul coming through in the conversation, but also like being able to experience it. And the connection with a soul that is not incarnated yet has a very potent energy because it's very pure. So it comes through like a bright electric light, yet very smooth. And then I'm like, wow, so it's coming then. And before that, before my spiritual journey and when I entered my journey, I knew I was connected to a couple of souls, but it didn't have much details. And some people came to me like, yeah, you're gonna have 2 babies and so on. I'm like, okay, whatever will be. And then I was like, okay, you here, and I continued the communication with that soul because that soul was also guiding me and guiding us with charge. To create a container to receive the soul, to create a work container as well, and to build myself towards a conscious conception and becoming a mother. It was not overnight. It was actually like 4 or 5 years, but I knew I didn't want to be a mother now. It would come, but yet I had enough information for myself, trust, confidence, and desire to go toward that direction and knowing the steps forward. So being ready.
Hold on, this is such a beautiful piece that you're sharing about, because the journey of parenting is long. It's a large portion of our lives, and very few people talk about the readying that happens beforehand, and actually what our soul is actually agreeing to beyond what our personality may be ready for, or have a picture of how it's all going to look when we open in that prayer of, yes, I'm opening to this. Yeah,
exactly. But what for the end? Because there is a twist at the end. But so it was very interesting to work toward that, like, what is the mother? So basically having the conversation with George, like, who are we as, who do we want to be as parents? How are our relationship with our own parents? How do we see each other as parents? How do we see ourselves, like me as your wife and a mom, and you as the dad and my husband, and vice versa, and how do we project each other in the role of parenting? So having all those conversations, and to the extension of going to death, like what is death, what is the death picture in all this, and having like very grounded and honest conversation there, so we can clear out projections and beliefs and fears and worries, and having like a clean state foundation for parenting, like we are going to birth ourselves as parents. So there was that aspect. And then my aspect, like, what is my woman journey that's going to evolve as a mother? Like, how do I see, am I complete as a woman? What do I want to achieve before becoming a mom? What space do I create for becoming a mother? And so on and so forth. So like my personal construct. And then there was my physical body, like where is my physical body and where do I want to bring my physical body to bring a healthy baby with a healthy body. So it's very tangible. It's like blood test and exercise and gym, and like bringing a strong body here and knowing the body to its readiness. Like, am I ready to bring that baby now? So listening to the body, and then the emotional, and then the mental state, and then the spiritual connection, and then the spiritual connection start to build with the baby as well. So practices, initiation that start and come over time as we get ready. So when an initiation is complete, then we create a space for evolving into and towards a new initiation without knowing what it was or what would be that initiation, is growing into our energetical channel as a woman, as an individual, as a woman, and towards being a mom. Also as a therapist, a healer, as a medicine woman, as
I would love for you to expand on that. Even just define expanding our energy channel. This is so much the core of your work, and I just want to give all of us a little bit more of a taste of what you have.
So we were one of the core stone or keystone, or we say stone, but like one of the key in our work with George was on the heart resonance. So everything was coming from our 0 point within, before the resonance of our heart space, it was the 0 point of existence, the 0 point of creation in our being, to expand our connections, our presence, to expand our channel, to expand our electromagnetic field, to expand our container, so we bring in more of ourselves, more of our higher self, more of our higher consciousness, and materialize it into our world. But when we become a mother, it's not only the heart, like there's an extensive connection like towards the earth, towards our sexual organs, of which is a physical part of it, but to bring in and consolidate this channel towards the earth and Mother Earth, that is our we are the vessel, but that is our playground of life, and that materialized life that bring in earth side those souls, those babies. So that was like this work towards the strength and intensity of the connection in our consciousness, in the universe, or in the no matter, the non-physical understanding. It needs to be like equally in the physical matter, like to bring in, so the intensity of the light in the intensity of the darkness, the intensity of the physical, the intensity of the non-physical. So all of this merging and connecting at the same time, if you can follow me here a little bit. So like exploring there, going there. But what I found out, and what I experienced actually, is that depth of connection, that depth of grounding happened really after birthing, for me actually. Not that like a lot before, but really like the extensive and the experience of it like after birth. So this work here and going through journey without specifically having intention there, but like going through journey and allowing those journey to be brought towards initiation, to bring this baby, like even not so much conception, but like how this baby is going to connect to my physical construct, how it's going to be brought, how will be the connection here, and having the understanding of discernment between the fetus connection and the soul connection, and so on and so forth. So it's like having discernment, fine-tuning the connection to this informations, so I can do something with it. I can recognize details. I can recognize where the information comes from and do something with it.
Yes, beautifully said. You just mentioned something very key. It wasn't until after the birth that all of this really happened. I mean, there's something about pushing something through our channel that brings us here now into the reality, the interface of all of our energy body, all of our emotions, and our physicality. And birth is such a moment where it all meets in a way, when we're conscious, for invitation into deeper embodiment, what we're capable of, what we're not. Yeah, you want to share a little bit more about that piece?
Yeah, sure. Yes, I even didn't finish.
Yes, you can journey. Yes. Finish the conception journey first.
There's so much to say, and your questions are extensive. So like, yeah, I can dive in it and share a lot. But yeah, like to complete that first part, actually, it's so once I've got all of this information and I've got the direction towards, and it was just a moment of like, when are we ready physically? Like, what do we want to bring into the world? What is the dynamic we want to have with George, my husband, and when we're going to be ready for really becoming this soul, like on all level, which is like work, like ourselves in our couple dynamic. Are we ready to expand into a family, which is like very, very different, because everything will change. So do we have space to welcome that change? Do we have space to welcome that baby, our house, our financial, our work? Because our work was taking us like 20 hours per day. We were like having sessions and group sessions and courses and teachers we were welcoming like every single day. It was like a full load it was taking all of life. So we were thinking like, are we really ready? We need to make space. So we were like gradually making space. And then I'm like, okay, I complete. Now I'm going to shift into my cocooning. So I decrease my work by 50% to start having that physical space for myself and starting to project myself as a future mom. And then we knew we were ready. I mean, I maybe knew before George. George had like the interaction with the baby as well, so it was very fun and very interesting. And then it happened that we knew, and we said like, okay, let's prepare then, because there's something that I haven't shared yet is that is also very personal. But George practiced sperm retention since like 20 years now, so it's also like he needs to prepare like few months before as well, like also his diet, his physical, and his seeds as well. So it needs preparation as well. So we need to be aligned there and practicing towards welcoming the soul, having making sure that everything is aligned, that we have strong container and the soul is ready to come. And then it worked. So and we are not young. So this is like full trust in that. We know what we want. We are manifesting, co-creating. It's set and it's happening. So now like pregnancy is happening and then birth is happening. So it's a lot is happening in each phase of stepping into motherhood, and then after birth, what happens? Like everything shifts, and as much as you know about it, as much as you prepare yourself, you get all the wisdom and all the material and all whatever practice and whatever thing that you receive, it doesn't actualize till the moment your baby is out, or you receive your baby if you are like an adoptive mother. Yeah. I mean, that was like, we know that it will be different. Like we haven't experienced, we don't have the landscape yet. So the landscape become new. And I was thinking in my head, is there anything into this life that can mimic or can be similar to being a mother for a first time? I couldn't find any example whatsoever. We can have everything to be prepared. It doesn't actualize in the moment the baby takes its first breath.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, we're not the center of our circle anymore. There's something with needs and immediacy that requires that we show up in ways for them first. Yeah.
And this is actually the big realization I had, and the biggest challenge I had in my life is when you are on a spiritual path, a conscious mom, a conscious woman, a conscious being, even like dads, like parents, like any human. Realizing that you won't have enough time per day to process, to check in with yourself, to have your bubble to collect yourself, which makes the key routine and your and the heart of your day to remain aligned and balanced. We have our free time before, like, okay, I have my own practice, I remain aligned, I am balanced, I can have my time to check in, I can breathe. After birth, we don't exist anymore. And this doesn't happen. So the biggest challenge was, how do I take care of myself, knowing that I cannot take care of myself? And how can I be present for a human being and my husband and my community, knowing that I don't have time for myself at all? 24 hours of the day is dedicated to the survival of this baby. I remember we were counting with George every day. Second day, still alive. Thursday, she's still alive. 1 week, well done, we did it. Every single moment of the day was something new I was learning with that baby.
Yes.
Because I didn't do babysitting before. I didn't take care of my siblings before. And it was like every single thing was new. And it was like with George and finding ourselves like we don't have space to breathe. We don't have space to realign, and having those extra strength and forces from inside, like pushing us to be front stage and to be available for that baby night and day, and trying to keep calm and cool and managing the sleep deprivation in being conscious is really tough. It's really tough.
Yes. And what I've discovered through time, me having children and not being able to appropriate so many hours in a day to practice like I had been used to and was so hungry for, and watching my friends around me who didn't have children, who could spend hours and hours a day in practice, over time, I realized I was actually embodying more.
Yeah.
It was not the practice that was making it real for me. It was actually me having to live all the practice in my body, in my being over time, and express that into living this human life. It wasn't as glorified or as pristine, maybe, as staying in my cave and doing practice all day, but there was something profoundly embodying about it.
Totally. Thank you for saying that. Yes, this is actually where it's going. After those months of like, what's happening? It's this. It's the realization that we are strengthening our connection on earth. We are strengthening our materialization of ourselves on earth, the divine within ourselves, not only because we receive the divine in the heart of our family. The soul of the baby is the purest form of life. There is zero filter. It's the purest atom of creation at the heart of our family. So it's like we are welcoming the heart of the universe within our family, with its glory and the mess, as you said, around it. But then the realization is like, I can manage it all, or I can try and find my way to manage and navigate it all. And the realization is, I have to be fully present all day long, physically present. But at the same time, I also can bring my higher consciousness, my highest connection in that present moment with my child for many reasons. First is the recognition that the child is the extension of ourselves, is the extension of the divine, is the pure source of love. And when I talk to my child, I talk to myself, I talk to life. How do I talk to life and how do I talk to myself as I talk to my child? What do I want to hear as is an extension of me? And really bring this awareness in my words and in my communication with my child, even in the difficult moment, and having the time and the realization that I can breathe as well and step back if I'm not aligned to really talk the way I would like to hear words from others or from myself.
Yes.
So this brings like extra level of, being grounded and being present. And I remember myself, and I shared that story with you before, is I was doing sessions, so not like the primary host online, but we were like having 300, 400 people online, and I was also hosting at the same time, feeding Celestine and channeling, connecting. So I was like feeding Celestine, talking to her, connecting, bringing the energy, like multitasking. But it was working because I was aligned with my, I wouldn't say my truth because it's not the word I want to say, but with where I need to be present right now. Celestine being a priority, the work being a priority to be delivered, and hosting space for others. And I was being able to combine it all. And just having the experience of that, it's really give the full spectrum of that stretch of bringing our higher consciousness or higher self, however you want to call it, whatever you are connecting to and makes sense for you, here in the physical moments.
Yes. So beautifully said. It really dissolves the gap between
Exactly.
human and divine.
It converges.
Exactly. Yes. And motherhood is one of the few pathways that can give us that opportunity so directly.
Yeah, exactly. And I was, I think it's to you, I was sharing that this as well. Like, it's not, there is no bypass in spirituality, in evolution, in our spiritual journey, but there is fast track. But I would say like fast track is not actually the word that would be the more appropriate, because I think I shared that with you the other day. Mm-hmm. It's level of intensity. I think it's more like I will use more intensity as a word, and being a mother like intensify everything, and everything become very edgy and intensified, and the capacity expand very fast because you don't have the choice, especially as a first mother, because all this landscape is new, so there's like a level of adaptability that is innate.
Yes.
And it has to happen, and that extension of capacities and skills also reflects on all our constructs and level, which is also like spiritual, and therefore it's also bridge and gaps faster.
Yes.
As per my experience, I would say. But yeah.
Yeah. We cannot hide. You know, our children have a way of reflecting to us our blind spots, the things that we can't see. Maybe where with the rest of the world we have a certain face, but at home when we're tired and have very little left, they have a way of poking us exactly where it's uncomfortable. And I know for me, I see some of the grossest reactions in me, and it's so humbling to just recognize, wow, that was not loving. This is another place where I can still embrace more of me back into love. And the beauty that I'm discovering with my own son is that parenting is nothing, we can't do it perfectly, but we can make mistakes and we can keep doing better, showing up each time more available, more me, acknowledging to him where I've fallen short, gives him permission. Oh, it's okay for me to make mistakes too. And we keep going. We keep showing up every day to do it again, to do it better.
Exactly. And yeah, I haven't learned that much in the last 3 years, I would say, the last 3 years, than in my entire life. Like I've learned so much about myself.
Yes.
So much. And the way that is a direct, like as you said with your child, the communication, and it's like a direct mirror, is because it's a direct mirror, there's an extensive opportunity to actually be better at communication.
Yes.
And improving our communication skills that we don't learn. We don't learn our communication skills and our emotional. I mean, we can learn that, but we have very few way of really learn it in a healthy way.
A healthy way that keeps a soul intact. You know, so many of us weren't raised with that awareness around our parents seeing our being, or you know, our essence. And would you be open to speaking to just a little bit of how, you know, amidst daily life with Celestine, you're also tending to her soul simultaneously while you're tending to her physical body? And
of course,
yeah,
of course. First, before attending to herself, I make sure that I have attended myself. Yes. And one of the biggest daily goal for me is like George's cup is full, my cup is full, and her cup is full of Celestine. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Otherwise, we cannot be there for others.
Yes.
So, for example, she's at the nanny now, and when we're going to be finished and complete, I will take a bit of time for myself, so I'm ready to receive her for the end of the day. So I'm there for her. I'm available emotionally and mentally and physically for her. Otherwise, as you say, the child will see it and will push the button, and it's chaos. And we don't want her or the child to go in that direction. It's not pleasant for them. It's not fair for them, and it's not nice for us neither. So making sure that even to the point that the meal is ready as well, like the meal is ready for all of us at night, meaning that we don't need to reheat it, so we have more time for each other.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is like, it took time to find this harmony. It took time. So one thing as well, for us, it took a lot of time to find this harmony and rhythm, because we are coming from the opposite rhythm, where we were working till 11 p.m. at night. That was not healthy, but it was our rhythm at that time. It was the rhythm opposite to the one of a family. So it took time to reverse that and to find our steady, harmonious ground. But we got it, and we are thriving. But what I mean from that, and to answer your question, is first us, and then when we practice every day, we make sure that her energetical construct is safe, it's full, it's complete, and is vibrant. And an example of that, like a direct experience of it, is we were doing a retreat last year, and we had to leave her on 10 days with my parents. For 10 days, she didn't ask for us one time. She didn't ask for us. When we met her, she was happy to see us, but not like in a state that she was losing herself.
And how old was she, just to put this in perspective?
She was a year and a half. Yeah. And so we make sure that her energetical cup, container, electromagnetic field is fully safe, is complete, vibrant. And for her emotions, we are validating her. We are not suppressing emotions. We are addressing her. We are present. The way that we would have loved to receive that when we are a child with child, but also we know that it is important as we do therapy. I've seen it, probably it all, and the damage that the unconscious damage that can be done in ignoring a person, with passive aggressive reaction or response, with violence, with a non-settled emotion like projecting anger, projecting fear, projecting frustration. We see how it can build a person, like a child's subconscious. So we cannot be, it's not that we cannot be perfect. We can be in our own perfection, but eventually the child will still need to learn what he came for here on earth. So whatever we are doing, it's just creating what we think the foundation will be healthy. But after that, the child will have the free will to choose whatever they want to experience as well in life. But we know that from our part, the foundation is stable and healthy, and the person will have confidence and empowerment and self-confidence and empowerment to start her life. Yes. And after that, whatever is so like truth, confidence, and empowerment. And the way we attend her mentally is to be present with her, to engage her as well, to answer her, to really listen to what she has to say, because we have a little daughter that is very connected to her body, meaning that food is something that she is not excited by since birth. So she knows when she's hungry, she knows when she is not hungry. She's listening to her body. Like sometime it happened that she woke up during the night and she was like, I want some chicken. Yeah, okay, let's have some chicken. And then she just slept after that. It was not something to not sleep. She was really in need of chicken at that time. And for another example, the other day, she was like, Mommy, I want to see a doctor. I'm like, what's happening? Yeah, you feel sick? It's like, yeah, I don't feel good. I mean, whatever she was saying at that time. And the day after, she was actually sick. So there is something here where like having a greater listening can be of a greater help to really make the child feel heard.
Yes.
And beyond that, when we are a mom or a parent that understand that there's energy, that we are connected, that we can hear thoughts, then from the beginning I can hear what she needs. So sometimes I know that she's thirsty, and I prepare the glass of water, and immediately like she turns around and says, Mommy, I'm thirsty. I say, yeah, the glass is ready for you. So listening to her intrinsic needs, yes. But that are not verbal. So this is a way of also helping her physical needs to be fulfilled. And then having a passion. I think there's something as well about being this type of connected parents is we want the best for them, but we listen to where they are at. Like not the listening, like audio listening, but we are able to see where they are at, to receive them in their development, and to bring to them what they need to develop these skills or this discovery of this moment that they are engaging with.
Yeah.
So
this is such an important key. It can be so easy when we're becoming parents or when we're parenting to read every book, to research, to gain so much knowledge in here about what we think our child needs or project it on what we didn't have. And actually what I'm discovering is the more I listen, I just listen, one, to his words, but also to my own heart and what I'm naturally drawn toward. We're so supported and guided and assisted in bringing them what they need. And the more attuned we become at listening, the more they're supported in strengthening their own inner listening for those, just like you said with her saying that she needed the doctor and everything.
Yeah, it gives them a place for them to be to speak, and to know that it's safe for them to speak because they are heard and we can listen. And as you said, like we have our hearts. We can also project our own things. Of course, we project our own things on our children, but it's to have that discernment. Like, what do I project, and where there is the space of no judgment or no conditions. And I'm projecting in the future, like when she will be older, for example, is like how much I will be able to pick from her even at distance, and holding myself to let her be, to be her own individual human into this world. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it's such a dance, enabling them to feel held and also free.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's so beautiful to hear you speak about all this too, because you're so grounded and articulate things so clearly. I would love to get 2 lists from you.
Yes.
One is, it was so beautiful when we were speaking about your family flow, and in my experience, the rituals that you have in place almost in a daily manner that enable that coming together of soul and family, but also acknowledge physical needs too, like sharing a meal or stuff like that. Do you want to speak to either how to create ritual or the rituals that you use that sort of ensure, what you found that works, ensures that all aspects of us are being included?
Mm-hmm. And the second list?
The second one is just maybe either how you drop in and center. Okay. If you don't have a lot of time one morning to do a full practice, but yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Okay, great.
Okay, the routine. I'm not sure if sharing my routine will be of great help for others, but I'm going to share more of
generic
how to create, like how to realize that, how to bring in a routine in our lives, or to optimize it.
Yes.
We need a routine. I would say let me start first by children thrive on routine, and we are not much different from children. We need a routine to thrive. We are human. This is how it works. We don't have a routine. We lack motivation. We become more pessimist. We lack confidence because things will not go our way. Routine is what works for our human construct. So everyone is different. We are all unique. We all have different routine. Yet they are like normalized routine that works because we all need to sleep. We all need to eat to a certain degree. And we are also bound to the cycles of the earth, the sun, the seasons. So there is something that permeates through our human collective, yet we are individuals. So that's why you need to find your flow with it, and it comes with trial and time. We won't find our rhythm, our routine in one day. We have to try out, we have to test out, but before that we need to know ourselves, meaning that what is it in me that doesn't work? What is it in me that I may lack? What is it in me that can be optimized? And how do I see, is it the person that I am today is the one I want to be in 10 years? Is the one I want to be in 5 years? Is the person I am today, the state that I vibrate the most, is the state that benefits my family, that benefits my life, that benefits me in a way that I can thrive and become the best version of myself in the next few months, few years, 5, 10 years, and so on? Is it sustainable? That's all the questions you need to ask yourself, and then do your own research, your own thing, and test and trial and fails and see what works for you. It needs to be something that works every day. For example, going to the gym hardcore for 2 hours is not sustainable. You cannot do that every day. It's going to be a one-time week, for example, or maybe 3 times per week. But what can you do every day that works? Brushing your teeth every day, it works. Going to the toilet every day, it works. Going and having a meal every day, it works. What can you add? 1 meal, 2 meals, 3 meals. What can you add in your day that will fit a routine and fit your family? So for example, for me, what I found best is first, fixing your sleep. How many hours you need to sleep. If you don't sleep, we all know, especially mom and mom of babies, if we don't sleep, the day will not work. So we need to sleep. And what works for you? So what works for you? So how many hours you need to sleep, what time you can go to bed, what time you need to wake up. When you wake up, this is where the routine starts. What do you do in your self-care routine that will bring your physical body in to start the day? How you're going to kickstart your day? For example, for me, I do a lymphatic massage every morning, and I realized that, it's recent actually. I was thinking about it for years, but I was not doing it. And now I made time for myself for doing it, and it works perfectly well. You can incorporate it in a different way, with oil, with brush, in a fast way, in a short way, whatever it works during the day for you and the time that you have in the morning. Breathing exercise, amazing. Gym, amazing. Cold therapy, heat therapy, try whatever works for you, and also spread it through the week, because you cannot do everything in one day. And then as a woman, we have a cycle, and during our cycle, things will not work and still things will work. You cannot do ice bath during your menstrual cycle. It's not possible. You need heat. So when I say know yourself, it's like know yourself deeply, know yourself in your body, know your system, know how it works, know what breathing does to you, know what heat therapy does to you, cold therapy does to you, what type of supplement does to you, what do you need to supplement and optimize your body so you can incorporate it in your routine and something that works and is sustainable. Yes. This is so important. And you will have that motivation once you realize that there's really something that needs to change, and there's something that doesn't match. Like, this is who I am today, but this is who I know I am, but it doesn't reflect this way, so I need to readjust. So your routine will help you readjust that.
Yes.
So my routine in the morning, I take 2 hours. We have well set with George. George wakes up before me at 5, so he does his practice. Things wakes up, I take care of her during my gym moments, so she does gym with me, so cute. And then I continue, she's ready, she goes downstairs, George gives her breakfast, we are getting ready at 8:30, we are all ready, and the day starts. So,
beautiful. Yeah.
And it works this way very well. And evening time, something similar, but it's like bed routine, so it's a bit different, but there's also like a routine in the evening. So routine is very important, and you need to find your own, and you will realize, if you don't have your routine set, you will realize that it evolves throughout the year, the season, because you also don't eat the same thing, the season, and the age as well, and the different life events that you will welcome in your life. Whether it's something that you are choosing or whether that's something that is imposed on you, either way, you have to navigate those events coming your way, and your routine will make sure that you have a grounding strength and a foundation, like a strong foundation to navigate that the most aligned as possible.
Yes. Yeah.
So I would say for me, routine equal it's the space for that the space that you set for your day to remain aligned, productive, energized, like how you sustain your vital force. Therefore, your vital force, your life force will be sustaining your energetical force as well, your love force, and all those forces that comes together to create the states, the vibrational states that you vibrate throughout the day and into the world. And from that, this alignment that is being provided by your routine, also your life force, and also you being present, like creating your strong presence, so you being present for your family, for your children.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Beautifully said. Yeah. I always feel routine, it's where we ensure the meeting of our spirit and our essence with our physical world. And so the more sound the structure of that is, the gentler the landing. The transitions. Yeah. Beautifully.
Exactly.
Can you run us through it, a centering that you do?
Yes.
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
Couple minutes.
Couple minutes, okay. So when there is a moment for realignment, or when I start to practice, for example, in a very simple way, I will first take a few deep breaths. So you can take a few deep breaths in your belly. And through that breath, I love to realize that this breath, this oxygen that I inhale, is connected to all life on earth. This simple breath is the only thing that connects all living form on earth together, the oxygen. And allowing this oxygen to simply settle and bring me home in my body, in my heart space. Allowing my body to take that oxygen to relax. And entering my heart space. And I bring deeper and seeing this gateway of alchemy, of creation, this gateway for love of existence. And I drop in it. I dropped in it to the extent that I reached that 0 point of existence where nothing exists, yet everything exists at the same time. Where there is stillness in the movement. Where there is this magneted and magnet feeling. Where you are this atom in this universe and the universe itself. And you breathe in that without condition, without expectation, without projection. It just is, you just are. So your physical body is permeable. You are at the same time realizing your electromagnetic field, your energy, construct, body. Your physical body merge in those different layers. And I allow after that to connect to Mother Earth, to the heart of Mother Earth, my heart to her heart, bridging, making one heart of resources, of nourishment, of nurturing, of love, of life, life force, of power, of safety. And dropping into it and allowing this communication to happen, allowing this informational field to merge. My pathways, my body, my meridians, my channel, all those worms that vehicle, that bring in informations are merging with the one of Mother Earth and encompassing life. And as I breathe in, I do the same and push up and connect with my house self, my consciousness, the sun, the universe, wherever feels that you relate to. And you connect there to this source of light, this source of creation, of existence, to the heart of it, to the source of it. Pierce through all the layers, all the realms, and just meet yourself there. And connect your heart to the heart of the creation, to the heart of existence, to the heart of universe. And breathe in it there. And bringing it closer to you. And you keep on doing that. as you live it fully, as you expand it fully, as you expanse it fully, until all the hearts become one heart, one space. You become it all, and you observe that in your purest alignment, your purest presence. And the more you do it, the more it will become a state, an innate state in you that you can recollect at any time, at any intensity. So today, if I just drop into my heart, all these states becomes available in that moment. And once this state and this alignment is there, this full presence of mind is there, without conditions, expectations, just being there, I can observe my different constructs, my physical body, my emotional body, mental body, energetical construct, like a canvas, and observe and see where the misalignment occurs, what needs my attention, and realign that with this unconditional love presence, this love of existence, this state of being, and maybe having guidance, intuition, knowing, inner knowing, in order to act upon it, fine-tune it, own it, and incorporate it in my physical environment, my physical life, to create the change in order to realign. And when I see it, I witness all the bodies coming back in unified field, in unison, in this love, in this light, in the purity of my expression, into this vessel. And I encompass my family, George, our daughter, our life, our house, our service, our extended families, the city and the world around us, with the same quality of light, with the same quality of energy, of presence. So my vibrational field, my frequency spread out into the world, being received, and I receive it back 100-fold. So my environment aligns with the state that I vibrate, that I own, that I recognize, and that I expand with my breath, with my intention, with my realizations. And I remember and remind myself that only me can create the change I want to see. Only myself is accountable for what I receive, what I create, what I want, and how I see the world around me. And no one will do that for me. And therefore, you have all the power to also create that for yourself, to create the change that you desire, to become the best version that is available to you, to thrive into your life, into the world, and to be an inspiration for others. And that inspiration can start with your partner, with your children, with your family, your friends. Just your presence will ignite a desire for them to create their own change into their own lives. This is a way of actualizing your own wisdom, your own knowing, all your realizations actualized so others can benefit from them too. And of course, being in gratitude. And closing with the excitement that every single second and with every breath you actually create life and you participate in life. In beautiful co-creation.
Mathilde, as mothers, we are invited into the embodied reality that we are creators. Yes, we create, we choose to engage with life every moment, and no one but us can do this. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. It's so rich to get a slice of your story, your transmission, your challenges, your gifts, your family, and just really receive you in the totality of what you're living, where you're still growing, and what you're really bringing to the world through your own authentic path. It is so inspiring for me to sit with you and have this conversation and feel connected to another woman who truly is dedicated to being a creator on every level of her life.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for these beautiful words touching me. And likewise, it has been a beautiful way of reconnecting in this life.
Yes.
And walking that path in our own frequencies, yet with this intention and vision of conscious living, conscious mother, conscious parenting, conscious human in a way, and living consciously with our Mother Earth, like the mothers in the different bodies of motherhood. I think incubating and birthing. Incubating life and birthing life. Yeah, it's nice actually. You're able to visualize that. So thank you for allowing me to share today. It was a great pleasure to open up these topics, to have this conversation with you. And I would love for some more.
I was feeling the same thing. Yes. So I'm already planning. So thank you all for joining us today. For those of you that want more of Mathilde, her website will be posted below in the links. Do you want to say just very briefly about the way that you work with people or what you're available for if people say, I want more?
Okay. Yes, of course, I can share quickly. With birth and pregnancy, we have shifted our work quite a bit. So the way I can provide and I can be there for you would be mostly in private sessions. the way you can receive our extended work, we are working with a foundation in US where we participate in building programs, and we are training ambassadors and pillars of light and pillars at service as well. So we are taking part in those programs this way. So we are holding it. If you want to see more of us, it's going to be with Evolution 1. And if you are speaking Arabic, my husband George is having an Arabic community where he goes in depth with all the theory consciousness and making you be your version of expression and being a pillar of love. So that's for the moment, the now me, and the future me has many projects.
Yeah.
I need to rebirth myself. Constantly birthing.
Yeah,
but thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yes, everyone, please stay tuned. I'm sure that we'll be bringing more to you, the two of us. So links for Mathilde below, and I'll also put a link for my book, Soul's Guide to Birthing. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Mathilde. And
thank you so much, Catherine. What a great pleasure. What a great pleasure. Thank you.
Such a joy. Yeah, we'll see you soon.